What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I'm Michigan Sports Talk here. This video is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, and in this one we go over what Michigan must do at the quarterback position. Could they make another quarterback switch, and what quarterback they could go to if Alex Orji doesn't improve. Sherrone Moore also talks a little bit about Alex Orji and the strides he made. Plus, we go over some big-time injury updates for Michigan, as they had a lot of players banged up against Minnesota. There's also an unfortunate long-term injury for a Michigan player, and we also go over some recruiting news on a huge wide receiver flip target in the 2025 class. It's all going to be in this video and more, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so let's go ahead here and start this video to talk about the continuing issue on this Michigan football team, and that is obviously, offensively, the passing game, the quarterback position. And while Alex Orji is 2-0 as, Michigan's starting quarterback, this passing game for Michigan continues to be a concern moving forward here into the bulk of Big Ten play. Now, granted, Alex Orji, he did make some strides from the USC game to the Minnesota game. In the USC game, he went 7 for 12 with only 32 passing yards. In the Minnesota game, it wasn't much better, but he did go 10 for 18 with 86 passing yards. And Michigan did let him throw the ball a little bit more, especially, when they had that comfortable lead. And I do think the passing game looked better than the USC game. However, there is still a ton of improvement that has to be made, and in particular the second half. So let's go ahead and talk about it here. Sherrone Moore did have his weekly press conference today. He talked about Alex Orji. He said it's a work in progress. The passing game got to get better, continue to strive to get better. And he said it starts with me and how to organize practice and things we can do to help them. We'll continue to do that and get better. He said Orji did some really good things and improved. He went through some progressions, which was good to see. And we've got to continue to improve in that aspect. And then, we've got to get open for him too. We've got to protect. It's a whole part thing, a team thing. And I do agree with that. The receivers haven't been that great this season as far as getting open. We did see, them get some more separation in the Minnesota game, a lot more. In the pass protection did get a little bit better as far as percentage-wise of Alex Orji, being pressured on dropbacks, but it was still in the 40% range, so it's definitely still got to get a lot better. He did talk about the interception. He said the interception, if it's a little to the right, it's not a pick. He did say that Colson Loveland will tell you he's got to help him out. I also had Donovan Edwards down the sideline. Those things, it's football, it's going to happen, but he made some steps in the right direction. And he said the best thing for guys is experience, especially the quarterback spot. Those guys get experienced, they get better, take steps forward, and I look forward to him taking a step forward this week. So that's what Sherrone Moore had to say about Michigan's passing offense and Alex Orji at quarterback. Alright, so real quick here, I did want to give a shout out to today's sponsor and this channel throughout the football season. That is right, BetUS. They have all the odds you need this football season. There is a lot of games to bet on this college football weekend coming up. Michigan-Washington spread is already set. Washington favored by 3 right now. Over-under set at 41. There's also USC, Minnesota, Rutgers, Nebraska, Iowa, Ohio State, tons of other games. There's also some NFL games on tonight. Titans, Dolphins, Seahawks, Lions. I think that's going to be a good game. Lions, Seahawks. Looking at the over-under, at least for just the Lions, it's 24.5. Let me know what you guys think about that bet. Taking the Lions over 24.5 points tonight. Can bet 50, currently win 40. Also currently right now, BetUS is offering a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000, and then on your next 2 deposits you also get a 125% bonus up to $2,000, all with code YouTube150. So go to betus.com and use promo code YouTube150. I would appreciate it. Obviously, please gamble responsibly, but let's go ahead and continue here. Now, again, we did see some strides being made in the Minnesota game. That second half was really rough, though, and I know the whole team knows it. Sherrone Moore knows it. He was very upset, happy they won, but very upset with Michigan's poor play in the second half, and they know they have to clean it up. So, it is a very interesting season so far for Michigan fans. This Michigan team is still one of the best in the country. They just cracked the top 10 again. They stand at number 10 in the new AP poll, which is really thanks to their win over USC. But I think we all know, if they want to beat Oregon and Ohio State this season, they got to make a lot of improvements, and it really starts with the passing game. We know the defense can be good. It's just we saw what this team could look like if their blueprint kind of just falls apart and they start making mistakes, and that was in the second half of really both the USC and the Minnesota game, and we are really yet to see Michigan play a good full game of football. They've really only played one good half in every single game so far this season, so that's what's got to change going into the Washington game, and it's going to be their first road game. So, Washington's offense is good. It's going to be another test for this defense. Michigan's defensive line, though, they have been wreaking havoc for offensive lines right now. But again, it's up to the offense to keep that defense rested, because the Michigan depth defensively this season compared to last year, it's evident it's just not there. But let's talk a little bit about the quarterback position. Alex Orji is going to continue to be Michigan's starting quarterback. Going into the Washington game, though, we need to see a lot of improvement from him in the passing game, because in the availability report, Jack Tuttle was not listed as questionable anymore, so it appears he is, getting back to being healthy enough. And I really do think that if Alex Orji can't figure out this passing problems that this offense he is having right now, Michigan might have to go to Jack Tuttle, give him a shot, because I don't know if you can win some of these games going forward with no passing offense, because eventually, sometimes the running game is not going to be there, and that's kind of what Michigan is relying on, and they're basically one-dimensional right now offensively. So here's what I'll say about the quarterback position right now. Going into the Washington game, we're still going to stick with Orji, but if it's still the same thing as the previous 2 weeks and the passing offense has made no other strides, Michigan might eventually have to go with Jack Tuttle, give him a shot if he is healthy enough. So we'll see what happens. I know this coaching staff is going to, give Alex Orji a shot. He's 2-0 as a starter. He's only made one mistake, and really on that mistake, man, he had Donovan Edwards wide open, and he's just got to improve on those types of situations. He missed a wide open Samaj Morgan in the USC game, so he's got to capitalize on those explosive plays. And if we don't see those improvements against Washington next week, we potentially could see another quarterback change, especially if Michigan is playing in another close game, which, going up against this Washington team, yes, it's on the road, it's a West Coast game, but Michigan really should be able to handle this Washington team. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how they keep improving, but that's my take on the offense in the quarterback position right now. Man, I would love for the freshman quarterback Jaden Davis to get a shot. I don't know if that's going to happen this season. I would love for him to get experience if this season starts to fall apart, but we just have to wait and see, because this season is far from over, and right now Michigan is standing at 4-1 with all their goals still ahead of them. But with that, let's go ahead and talk about some injury updates here. Sherrone Moore talked about the senior edge Josaiah Stewart, cornerback Will Johnson, and wide receiver Samaj Morgan all warmed up against Minnesota, were questionable, but they ended up not playing. Sherrone Moore in his press conference today said look like they'll be in good shape for this week, and that senior left tackle Myles Hinton, he did leave the Saturday game with an injury. He said he probably could have gone back in. He's working through something, but he feels good about them this week. And also Makari Page, safety, left the game early. He said that he will be good to go. And then we did talk about, unfortunately, a Michigan defensive back player in our Friday video, I believe, how there was a player seen on crutches. His name was not released, but it appears that it is Jaden McBurrows, and that his undisclosed injury is long-term. So it really sucks to hear. That is obviously a depth player for Michigan. So hoping the best for him, and hopefully he has, a nice, fast recovery. Wesley Walker and Jaden Mangham, both safeties, they were questionable as well. It doesn't appear their injuries are that serious though, and we'll see if Michigan can get them back for depth this week against Washington. Then obviously Michigan got Colston Loveland back for the game. He is all good. So, I will say in the second half, to say those injuries didn't impact Michigan would obviously be false, because especially in the defensive back room, Michigan going into the game, they were really, really thin. They had a lot of questionable players, or not even questionable, it was a lot of players that were listed as out going into the Minnesota game. So Michigan was without Will Johnson, Josaiah Stewart, two of the best players defensively, and two absolute game wreckers in the game against USC. So they got the job done. A win is a win, lot to improve on. Again, they look like they're going to, run away with that game against Minnesota. They have to play a better second half game, and hopefully we see that this week against Washington on the road. I also wanted to talk about one flip target for Michigan that did visit the Michigan-Minnesota game, and that is the 2025 3-star North Carolina State wide receiver commit Jamar Browder from the state of Florida. Michigan has been picking up steam with him recently, and he did visit over the weekend. We told E.J. Howland of the Wolverine that the highlight was obviously Michigan winning. I get along with the coaches. I see myself playing there and being an impact player. And he also said that I think they need some help and I can help. And he also said, which I really like, he said, I play better in big games and in front of more people. So I feel like it's the type of place I need to be. So Michigan is definitely a major threat for Jamar Browder, and he is a senior riser right now in the 2025 class. Michigan does have Jacob Washington and the top 100 receiver Andrew Marsh. If they can get Browder, this receiver class could make an impact early here at Michigan, because Michigan needs help at the wide receiver position. And the best thing about Browder is he is a 6'4" receiver, so he is a taller receiver that Michigan could definitely use. But with that, that's going to wrap up today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. Again, shout out to BetUS. Go ahead, check them out. Use promo code YouTube150. I would appreciate it. And other than that, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you guys go ahead, drop a like, comment down below, and subscribe for more if you are new around here. I greatly appreciate it. And other than that, we will see you guys in the next video. Go Blue.